Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Are we in Mercury retrograde right now?
No, we're in Mercury Gatorade.
No, we're in one of the circles of hell.
Oh.
Agreed. Agreed.
Well, I have do your introductions, but I have something that's going to speak to that.
All right, so real quick, this is our podcast for Thanksgiving break. It's not going to be long because of technical issues that we had. We were supposed to start it super early today, but we're here. Make sure to listen to our other podcasts, Miguel and Holly Full Show, Miguel and Holly Blown Off, Miguel and Holly Queen City Confessions, wherever you listen to podcasts, and the iHeartRadio app. And don't forget that you can listen to live from anywhere on Alexa, on your phone. Just say, Alexa, play Hits 96.1 from the iHeartRadio app.
Period.
Thank you. Holly, how are we in hell?
All right, so I had seen this morning a tweet from Pop Crave.
Okay.
And aside from what's going on with us and our technological issues, this week's news. Are you ready? Twitter is on the brink of collapse. Donald Trump announces 2024 election bid.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster cancels public on sale for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour.
I'm fine.
Alan Pompeo leaves Grey's Anatomy. Nancy Pelosi steps down from the Democratic leadership.
I mean, it's been a long
World
time.
population reaches 8 billion.
That's
done.
bad.
We're having a time.
It hasn't stopped since 2020, though. Like,
It's
it just
just
hasn't
ramped up.
stopped.
It's just ramped up because, I mean, there was the pandemic, but that was like the only, well, that's not the only thing.
No.
But like, I just feel like there were things, but we were like all in our houses. So it's not like we could go do anything. And then once we like got out, things just kept.
And then COVID was rampant in 2021, and now we're in 2022. But to be fair, I feel like 2022 for the most part was good in the beginning, but right now it is.
My wedding was great. And then after
Yeah.
I think
we had hope at the beginning of 2020.
Yes.
Too. What even year is it? But things started to unravel just personally for me quickly at the beginning of the year. There was like, we got this job though. So that's good.
no, it was good. That was like, but like there was like my wedding, the honeymoon, and then stuff happened.
The craziness with the job.
Yeah. And then like that was crazy. And then there was like 2 weeks where we weren't working and we were getting everything finalized with with Hits and iHeartRadio. And then we announced and like the movie, like that was fun. And then it was like we started and then it was like, oh shoot, life. So it's been crazy.
Yeah. Just adjusting here has been, I think, my biggest struggle of this year. Because I felt like my first 6 months were so much fun. Like, I remember getting engaged, getting our
this
puppy.
year?
Yeah. On your birthday.
Dang. I didn't realize. Really? I
On
didn't
your
even
birthday.
realize that it was this year. I guess I didn't file that away.
It was the first day of January. So
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
I
to me.
shared it to my story and we never even met in person.
Oh. Yeah. So also about that, Holly never followed me when I followed her the first time. So that's why you didn't know, Holly.
I don't follow people.
Oh,
It's not you.
He said you hated me from before you
She
knew
called
me.
me an F word. I'm just kidding.
Here's what you need to understand is that I am a bit in a bubble and I really, and this is maybe selfish of me, I really enjoy my Instagram feed. And if I just follow every single person that follows me, I will not enjoy this app anymore because
She
I
said,
don't know.
her.
She said low-key.
Well, I do, because that's what I did with Facebook. And do you see what I did with Facebook? I threw it in the trash because it was all a bunch, no offense, Panama City people, but it was a lot of Panama City people that I don't know.
Right.
I don't know them in my real life. And soon I was sharing all my stuff on Facebook to people that didn't know me. I didn't know them. And it was like this weird discognitive thing that I didn't. And I'm like, I don't want that to be Instagram. I enjoy Instagram. I want to know people that follow me and I want to know people I follow.
I feel
So
that.
when I started seeing people follow me from the show, I was very appreciative and super glad. And if they had messaged me and we started maybe like messaging back and forth, I'd be like, oh, who is this? I've got to better go follow them. I didn't see that you followed me. Call me elitist. I don't give a fuck. I didn't see it.
Why did you see it?
I didn't see it.
I don't know her.
I had just joined Knights, though, on your previous stations. I was like, okay, let me follow
I
the
didn't
morning
even know
show.
you joined nights. Do you think I knew what was going on in that station? I don't
She said, I didn't know what was going on outside of what I did.
She already done had hers.
After Danny B was no longer doing her thing on our station, I was like, I can't keep up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I did not.
It's okay.
So maybe I'm a C-face. Maybe that's the case. I actually
Aren't
am.
we all?
Actually, to be quite honest, like at that point in time, I didn't know that you were doing nights. Wait, were you doing nights when we were still there?
I think for a smidge of a second, I think.
Oh, we did not know.
I
I
did.
did not know.
Because stuff like that would, like by the end,
Because-
I don't know what we can say and what we can't say.
Well, it's fine. I think it was around October. Were you still there? In
Yeah,
October?
we left in March.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of
Or
time because
But like,
power had
how-
ended.
I
and-
love Will, but I feel like we didn't get that memo.
Well, I think because there was other stuff going on at the time behind the scenes that we
Maybe.
can't really talk about, that we were preoccupied.
Yes.
We
We're
were
a bunch of we're
preoccupied.
all C-faces. That's what's happening.
No, well,
I just don't like.
I
it's
don't think
not
I was
because-
in your radar. I think, and that's totally
wasn't.
fine.
wait.
It was not.
Hold on. This is totally inside. Let me just explain like the world of what we're talking about
Yes.
right now. Because if you're listening or watching this, you're like, what the are y'all talking about? So for New Charlotte fam, Holly and I were on a radio station in Tampa doing
Mhm.
mornings. Producer Kelvin was doing with the same company where we were with. He was at a radio station in Miami. And so
Yes.
through technology, he was able to record his voice and have a show on our station
Yes.
in Tampa at night. But we
Right.
didn't know, because a lot of times with radio stations, they don't send us, as the morning show, a memo every time there's a change or something happens.
or there's a new person that comes on as a part-timer. Like
Right.
we're not privy to that information, which is weird. You would think, but like communication within the radio station of any radio station I've ever worked for is the worst.
Right. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like our business to communicate, but we can't do it ourselves.
No, we don't. And I've heard that saying in every place I've worked at. So that's why it's funny or ironic the fact that like Kelvin had followed her, Holly, when he had been on our radio station. So like back
Right.
in the day, we had a female on our station at the time at night from Miami as well, who worked with Kelvin. And so that's the magic of radio, that you
Yeah.
can be in a lot of different places from
I think
your
people
home
know
base.
that. People know that. This is
Girl,
not new information.
No, but I think a lot of people don't realize that though. Like, because we don't say it, we don't talk about it unless
Well,
you
not
have
on the
like
air.
a national show,
Right.
like Ryan Seacrest. Clearly, Ryan Seacrest is not in Charlotte.
Right.
He's not in LA. He's in New York.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of times because we
Really?
don't bring it up. Surprise!
I thought
Yeah.
he was in LA.
No, he
For
got to do
Kiss.
Kelly. He got to do.
No, he does
Kelly
it
and Ryan.
remotely.
Oh.
See, even he works in the company, doesn't even know that he's on our station.
Yeah.
Alright.
So there's just a lot of like moving parts and pieces to radio stations now that we're just not privy to sometimes.
Right. And I think this is my biggest downfall. I'm very unaware. Like I'm so often internally focused on like the shit show that is my life. And I'm not like saying, oh, my life is so much harder or different or whatever than anybody else's. It's just that I must not have a very high operational capacity in a brain, because I get so internally like this is going on at home, I have all this stuff to worry about, that I'm very oblivious to a lot of stuff going on outside my little, like, I'm focused on my world bubble. So I didn't know Kelvin was doing nights. I had heard his name and I remember being like, wait, it's Kelvin? It's not Kelvin. Okay. And that's about the only thing I knew.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I apologize. I
You don't
am
have to
the
apologize.
worst at knowing what's happening around me.
No,
and I
because
think that's a downfall of mine, but that's one of my toxic traits.
Well, I think it's actually a superpower because I wish I could separate. Like, I am constantly checking, like, who followed me and, like, what they're up to. And, like, sometimes I wish I could just make social media be social media, like, post and then fucking leave. But I'm just, like,
Yeah.
very much obsessed with, like, keeping my engagement up and being relevant. Whereas, like, when I first met you, I thought you were one of those girls. one of those women, who is like very much into social media because you guys have such a great following.
I know it's the biggest joke in the universe.
So,
like it's unfair.
So I was
for
like,
Miguel.
oh my God, maybe she gets so many followers that she just didn't see me, that you didn't follow me back. So I was like, okay, well, like I don't know her that well. And then Miguel is very much into social media.
He's
Miguel,
way more up on it.
Like he posts about
Yeah.
shit and I'll write on it and we'll kiki and laugh in the chats. And I think that's why we had known each other more than maybe you and I.
Absolutely.
Because you treat social media like it's like I have to because of my job. But I think you wouldn't have it if you didn't have this job.
I
You
went
just
through
post random stuff, I feel.
Yeah, I do. And I also do not pay attention on the daily to who's adding me. Like, okay, maybe there's going to be a good example. Probably there's not, because of course, why would there be, like, when I need it? But okay, let's just look at this. This is from this morning. I'm not looking at any of those names. And it's not because I'm like, fuck those people, I'm above them. It's because I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I got some followers. Cool. Moving on.
Right.
It's overwhelming to me. And also, like, something happened in my life in 2019, because I used to be very much the same way. Like on social media, like I was scouring, I was looking, I was making stories that made sense.
Right.
And then something happened, and moving forward, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice about what I share, how often I share, like which pieces and parts of my life can make it on social media. And I'll be absolutely honest, it fucking sucks. Like I miss it. I miss sharing every part of myself. I'm going to get emotional about it. I kind of miss like sharing all the parts of my life on social media because it was fun.
Right.
And I didn't have to worry about anything. And like, it's mindless. Like you're just like, oh, I'm cooking social media. I can't do that. And it really sucks. And so I had to pull back, and then I had to be like, okay, how do I survive in post social media is everything of my life world? And so I just stopped because it got too painful, and I would see things on social media that I wanted to be posting and I can't. So it changed. And I do that thing, and it sucks because I'm like, oh, people follow me. Yay, that's great. I do now try to make it more concerted effort to be like, are any of these radio people? Because I'll try to like be a good radio person and at least follow radio people back. Like I realize that I've missed out. Sometimes I'll see like a person now that we're here at iHeart, and I'm like, oh, I think I work with them in the Tampa building. And I'm like, oh my God, they've been following me. Fuck!
I'm here like, oh my God, she gets to have great engagement and she posts whenever the fuck she wants and people still like it. And she's able to separate it. Whereas you're here like, I want to post more. And I had no idea. But for me, I'm like, fuck, that's what I want. Like
having done it for a while now, it just becomes your life. And then there's not a real easy way to be like all or like a middle ground. You either kind of got to be all or nothing, because it either becomes part of your life or it doesn't. And it's hard to do mid points. But then also there's part of me that's fucking bitter still about it and angry. And so it reminds me that I'm bitter and angry, and I'm like, can't. So I don't want to be the fucking pity party for me. But like, for those of you that I may have unintentionally snubbed on social media, it's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Oh no, I
joke about it because I'm like, but it's embarrassing that I didn't follow you. Like,
oh no, I didn't take an offense. I just like to poke at you about it because I'm like, this girl got so many followers, she don't even check. Like that's how I took it.
I know. I'm usually like, oh, haha, that's me. I'm so aloof and funny, but no, it's just embarrassing because I don't use social media that way. So sorry. And I didn't mean to make this a thing.
No, it's fine. Listen, the reason why I've just been sitting here and just sort of listening, because I wanted this to sort of like play out, have this conversation, because the ultimate point of this is that not everybody in our industry and not every single person that's on social media needs to be a social media addict. That's one of the beautiful things of being Miguel and Holly, our brand, a partnership, is we made sort of like an unspoken agreement when you had a kid, when you went through stuff, is that you do what you do really well, and I do the stuff that I do really well. So I know that even if the stuff didn't happen and you didn't have Maya, you are not going to be in the insights like I am and being like, y'all, our engagement with Charlotte has gone up 10%. Like
That's true.
That's what I do. That's
Like-
what I love. I love the inner workings of, that's why I'm always at our boss's door. Like, hey, let me look at ratings. Let me look at music rotations. I like to pull everything apart and I like to completely understand it so I can destroy competition.
Yeah.
Your job is to be Holly O'Connor. You come in, you know the facts of what we're talking about. You know what's trending. That's what you do. And that's what makes it a partnership. And now that we have Kelvin here, he comes and rounds it all out and makes sure that what we're presenting on social media doesn't look like Microsoft Paint. Or Kids Picks. Like, it looks professional. And so it's the team effort of what we do, because not everybody should be able to do what everybody does on our show.
I know, but I carry a lot of guilt about all of that.
This is like one of the first, like, you constantly say I'm a former people pleaser, but I feel like this is one of the first moments I've seen you react to not pleasing someone. And it's interesting to
What do you mean?
it's like this is the first time that you're getting upset over not, in a weird way, pleasing me for not following you back or being more, interactive on social media. Because you always say, like, I'm a recovering people pleaser. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I don't know. Like, when I talk to you, we're both, most of the time, we're like, yeah, fuck them, or like, forget that. Like, when it's something stupid, but this is truly a people pleasing situation where you have some sort of guilt, but it's like, Miguel's right. Not everyone is doing absolutely everything, and not everyone is entitled to what you post. And I personally, like I said, I've admired the way that you use social media, where it's like you only give us little juicy tidbits here and there, and you still have bomb ass engagement. So like,
I'm glad about that. Like, you know what really like brought the hammer down a little harder, because I was already dealing with all of this, and I think Miguel's right. Like, had all my the shit not gone down with Maya and everything, I wasn't very good at it. Like, I've never been the good person. I literally just like let Miguel do it, and then I repost stuff, because I'm like, it's like scrambling up a rock hill. I'm like, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm clearly not as fast or good or whatever. But anyway, had all that not happened, what the hammer that came down is, I don't live in Charlotte full time. And then I'm being delicate here. I can't post a whole lot about Tampa, because then people go, no, that I'm not there. So like, it's it's actually very difficult
tricky
to figure out what to post.
Yeah.
I'm still navigating that. It hasn't, we've been here about like 3/4 of a year. I'm still navigating all that.
Right. It's all a learning process.
It is.
What if, like, we just learn to not give a fuck?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right?
I mean, I think that you should sort of.
When you pay my bills, then I'll care.
Right. Well, because
well, it does though, and that's why I'm like, I know I have to do this.
Right.
Then like, it's just I'm trying to watch all the TikToks to make sure I'm not too old. So I'm trying.
No, I mean, I feel like, listen, this is something that I feel like in 97, 98, like, pop culture started to change from Gen X to like millennial. Like, I remember there was a point, and I was only like 11 or 12, that I was like, pop culture is changing to where I can access it. And so I feel like it's starting to change right now, where I'm like, ooh, it can, like, I can feel it prickly, like the sea change is happening. Yeah. So I just feel like if you, me, you, Kelvin, you listening, watching right now, as long as you don't put your head in the sand completely, like, you will be a part of that change. You just have to, like, do it in your and be in it in your own way.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be like, oh, well, what are the kids wearing these days? Like, what are they listening to? It just, like, naturally happens, and I never like to try to force it,
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that I'm super excited, producer Kelvin, I'm not calling you producer on the podcast, but like, is my Gen Z slang has gone way up in a very better way since you've been on the show, because I did not understand what people were saying before you joined the show. I'd be like, what?
Miguel made a great point about certain changes. And what I've actually, ironically enough, is what I've noticed. A lot of like the Gen Zers now are deleting their Instagram pictures and just using Instagram for Insta stories. And now when you go on pages, it's just like they have 3 photos up or 6 photos up.
Yeah.
So that was
Interesting.
also something that I was thinking about too. And I don't know why that's a fucking trend. I don't know if there's any Gen Zers in here, but I've noticed that. One of our hot coworkers does that for their
But you know
Instagram.
what? They almost, the young ones of them have the luxury of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not
you've had
only could I not, like, we'd have to go like picture by picture and
Right.
delete like thousands of them.
right.
But that's also my history in there.
Mhm.
So, man, that's an interesting take.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I'm like, girl, I have my entire career is on my
Right?
Instagram.
It's like a
and
resume, like a
It
photo
is.
resume.
Yes.
Well,
If
and
it's, your history book.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, and all the places that Holly and I've worked when it comes to the Miguel and Holly stuff, I've kept like that is separate from the company. Like we own that. That is ours. No one else can touch that because it is our life's work. Like whenever the time comes that Holly and I are like, all right, Miguel and Holly, the brand is done. We're moving on to something else.
Yeah.
We have this body of work that we've done since 2015. I mean, that's just the Miguel and Holly brand. But then, like, before that, when we were with Kramer and with Mandy and with Jimmy and with everybody we've worked with through the years, we
Yeah.
have all of that. And I want to someday it to go into Miguel's broadcasting museum of all of the work that I've done one day.
I like that.
Just mama.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting museum.
Mm-hmm. It's going to
A
be the
museum for just you?
just, I mean, you too. But I don't know.
And all the previous producers you've had.
Yes.
Yes.
Producer
Yes.
Kelvin's gonna get a room. Scott will get a room. All
Ryan.
the
The
people,
multiverse
Ryan,
of producers.
Nikki, Jared, all the
Yeah.
people we've worked with.
Jeremy. Mandy gets like a double room.
She does. She gets a
Ooh.
whole trailer, girl. Like,
Why she get a trailer?
Because she really did go through a lot.
Your friend
Mhm.
Andrew at a
He does.
house party.
Yes.
He's the silent person
Silent
that has
producer.
helped us that no one knows about.
Yeah.
He told me at a party that I met him for the first time. He told me twice. He was like, I was Miguel's first producer. And I was like, and I'm gonna be the last.
Oh!
If Miguel lets me. Like, I say shady shit like that. Or like, I remember when Miguel was like, yeah, when you had applied. And I was like, no, I knew I was like, if you like let me. Like in the back of my mind, I always think that, but I want to say, shit like that. Like, I'm gonna be the last one.
Oh,
That's good.
But yeah.
Oh
That's
my
good.
gosh. That's so funny. But yeah, so there was one point I wanted to make before we go, because I gotta go bake mac and cheese for this Thanksgiving thing.
Sorry.
No.
Okay. I don't even know what to title this shit. We should have
Social media pressures.
That's good.
How
we
is
should
social media killing us?
we should have done our Wednesday topic today about what we're doing on Thanksgiving.
Oh, right. For
That's
some
okay.
reason, I thought we had a guest scheduled. And so
today?
I did, because I like to try to schedule guests on Fridays unless they pop up randomly,
Yeah.
like they have been recently. And so in my mind, that's why I was like, oh, let's do it on Wednesday. But there was one final thing I wanted to. Oh. And stop me if I made this point in my soliloquy earlier.
Oh.
Is that in a team, everyone has their roles, and like we all can't do it. Like, I don't try, like, what you don't know listening and watching, anytime you read stuff online, like on the website, Holly writes that, and she's done that for years.
Mhm.
Because whenever I would try to do it, it wouldn't make sense, or there's lots of typos, or one of the biggest things that I do is that my brain goes faster than my fingers can, and I forget words.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like, you won't believe what tomorrow at 8:25. And you're like,
I
wait,
would
what
read
happened?
it and be like, did you mean this? He's like, no.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Whereas like with Kelvin now here, I'll be like, ooh, let's get this on video and put it up online as a discussion. Whereas I would have had to stop the show, do that, try to edit it, not pay attention to what we're doing on the air. So like everybody has their role, and that's what makes it a team. So I'll say this, and it won't affect your feelings, but hopefully it'll like live in the brain somewhere, is that you're doing enough and you are enough and we are all enough and we are all doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Okay.
How it's like, I don't care. I still gonna feel bad, but
I'm still gonna cry. I got some more fucking tears in my eyes, bitch.
Yep. I'm just gonna cry some more. That's
I'm gonna cry, girl. I'm gonna cry. Happy Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
bitch.
Give us
Merry
another
Christmas.
tear. Give us another 2.
Love it.
All right, hold on. Let me just do some quick shout outs since this is a short podcast. Zinda, Janice, Shannon, Vanessa, Alexis, Sarah, Doe Eyes. Did I say Shannon already? Joelle. Ooh, I love that. Karina, Melody, our
I think
Tampa
it's
tidbit.
Joyelle.
Joelle?
Yeah, I think it's Joyelle,
Joyelle.
which I love
Joyelle.
as well.
Let's see. I think I got everybody. Our Tampa tidbit. And
Tampa tidbit.
Are
Janice
we missing our Charlotte tidbit? She's busy.
and Natalie. Thank you all so much for listening.
Yes,
for
I hope
watching.
you have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Eat all the turkey, eat all the dressing or stuffing, whatever it is that
Yeah.
you eat a lot of it and don't feel guilty about it.
Yep.
Oh, and then Tony popping in. Anybody have anything else they want to say?
Yeah. Cry it out.
No.
Bye.
Okay.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.